G'day guys, it's John from theproductivegarden.com and I'm here with another balcony update. Now, there hasn't been a whole lot happened this week, but the tomatoes are still going and the lettuce are actually not doing too bad, even though the green sort of butter lettuce have gone to flower. But let's go and have a look at what's going on. Alright, so here we are at the herbs. They're going well. The coriander has gone to flower, but I'll be able to keep the seed and use that to replant more coriander, and you can use the flowers and seeds and stuff anyway to flavour it. Still has the same coriander flavour. Yeah, so that's gone pretty well. So yeah, I'm going to have to probably pull that out and put some more coriander in there pretty soon. But the parsley is going really well. We've used actually some of the parsley, thyme, oregano and rosemary in a bit of a pasta sauce this week. We've actually used it a couple of times, so that's actually done alright. So we're still continuing to harvest the herbs. So they've been really good. They're definitely something you would put in a small garden. If you had to have a little potted garden in a balcony or a courtyard, herbs would be an absolute essential because they actually do pretty well in pots. Alright, the cherry tomatoes, got a couple here. Get off there, you little bugs. They're not hurting the tomatoes, they just seem to be around here making more little bugs. But anyway, got this one ripening up pretty well. The basil's doing alright. We've used a bit of basil as well. So that one's doing alright. Got a few green ones on there, a couple ripening up. Plenty more coming along, more flowers coming our way. So they're actually doing pretty well, the cherry tomatoes. There's a whole lot on this one, ready to ripen up. Actually there's a couple down here. They're just about ripe, and a whole lot more ripening up here. The eggplant, they just haven't done any well. I don't know whether maybe it was a little cold. I'm beginning to wonder about the source of where I got the eggplants, because the eggplant and the capsicum are from the same source, where the tomatoes I have are from a different source, and the lettuce was actually from the same source as the capsicums as well. So I don't know if I'll be getting seedlings from that fella again. They just don't seem to thrive. But anyway, we'll see how they go. But that's definitely one thing. I mean, you don't know until you try it. But if you find a source of plants that just don't seem to do well for God knows what reason, yeah, maybe you need to find another source. And I don't think I'll be going to this fella again. Anyway, potatoes are doing well. I've actually noticed that got these are actually the fruit that come from the seed pods. And I usually pull those off because they're just going to suck energy out of the potatoes, so I'll pull them off and chuck them away. But yeah, they're doing pretty well. I'll just wait till this vine starts to die down, and then we'll dig up the potatoes and see how we go with them. The Roma tomato, that's not doing too badly. Got one tomato ripening up here. Got I think we had one or two more. We've got a heap of flowers on it. And I thought we had another one ripening up, but I can't find it. The basil's been struggling with this guy here. I think it just gets a whole lot more sun. I think the other ones are fairly shaded by the cherry tomatoes, where this one cops the full sun. But actually, what I might do is right now, I'm just going to spin this pot around. So now, the basil will tend to be shaded by the tomatoes, so we'll see how that works, whether it copes a little bit better like that. Anyway, the lime's doing pretty well. Still got those little limes forming there, and there's a couple more around. And yeah, it's doing pretty well. There's lots of new growth on it. You can see all the new growth that's on it, so it's not doing too bad at all. Blueberries there, blueberries getting new growth on it. Haven't had a second flush of flowers. I've put some worm castings on here, and I've been told by Rob Bob that you get a second flush of flowers, but this one's not doing it. Maybe it's just a different climate here. Things react differently. The beans are producing more beans. You can see, got one there. That one's definitely big enough to pull off. There's a couple more smaller ones around. So, yeah, getting a few beans off these bush beans, or they call them bush beans. They're not like different to the climbing beans. And you just don't seem to get as much off them as you do the climbing beans. Climbing beans are definitely a better producer. So yeah, if you had the room on a balcony to put climbing beans rather than bush beans, I just did the bush beans because I thought they'd be better in terms of space. I would definitely go with climbing beans, but I guess they won't take up a lot of space, but they need something to climb up, and they are fairly vigorous. So they do take a bit of space, and they take a lot of water as well. So you'd have to keep the water up to climbing beans, but they definitely produce a whole heap. The glangle's going well, starting to produce some more leaves. The ginger's doing well. Seems to have suffered with a bit of the heat and the dry weather. These leaves have dried off a bit, and I think they may have been eaten by snails a bit as well. But it's still doing alright. The soil, yeah, it's still reasonably damp in there, so shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, it's still coming on. Goji berries still growing more growth, so they're doing pretty well. Hopefully we get some berries off them next year. The asparagus is still building up its strength, so next year we'll get asparagus from that. Alright, the capsicums have actually done better since we put the worm castings in there last week, so things look like they've greened up a bit. I think they just look that little bit better. This eggplant's doing a lot better than the other eggplant, so hopefully it'll come good and start producing something for me. These two, they look like they've greened up a bit as well since I've put the worm castings there, so, and by chance they came from the same fella that the eggplant and the capsicum had come from, so wouldn't you guess it. So yeah, it just sort of confirms to me what it was about him. But on these things, we're only getting female plants at the moment, so even though I'm getting little flowers with cucumbers, with only female flowers, there's no way we're going to get actual cucumbers off it, so it's a bit of a bother. But anyway, the carrots are doing well, and they're carrots I sowed the seeds myself. This is still struggling a bit, but it's got a lot of new growth coming up on it, so, and the aphids seem to have all gone now. I think the ladybugs have finally knocked them on the head, so they're going pretty well also. This lettuce, that's well and truly gone to seed, so I'll pull it out soon and give that to the chooks, and I'll put some more lettuce in there, and yeah, hopefully this lettuce does a whole lot better. That capsicum as well is looking a lot better now that it's got the worm castings, so it's going pretty good. This lettuce, again, it's gone to seed as well. This red one's still pretty good, so probably pull that green one out. Might not bother replacing it really. I might just put one in the other pot, or probably two in the other pot, and just let these red ones have a bit of space. And last but not least, the strawberries. They're not doing too bad. They're getting a bit of new growth on them. Some flowers here, so if I can get some light for you. Okay, some flowers there, so hopefully we'll get some fruit off them pretty soon. This one's producing new growth in the centre. New flowers on this one, and some new growth in the centre of this one as well. So hopefully we get some more fruit off this pretty soon, and while I'm here, do my weekly quarter turn, so they share the sun around. So that's it for this week in the balcony garden. Not a whole lot to show you. It's going to be a hot few days coming up. We've got temperatures of 30 to 35 here. Maybe it will probably get a little bit hotter than that. So that's up around 90, 100 in the Fahrenheit. So it's getting pretty hot here, which means I'm going to have to keep the water up to these guys and definitely make sure they're looked after pretty well. Anyway, I better get watering these before it gets too hot today. And until next time, happy productive gardening. Bye.